What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant live again. Before we get started, please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily. Stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section as I'm always intrigued to know what you all got to say about these topics. And ladies and gentlemen, wait 1 second, 1 second. Let me check my fantasy football lineups real quick. Make sure we solid across the board. Yep. All right. It just clicked in my mind. Devontae Smith is injured. And I got him in both my leagues, so I just wanted to make sure I subbed him out. But ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about a few must-watch games that I got pegged this week for of the NFL season. We've had a great epic season so far. Again, I made a video earlier updating everybody on the Jordan Love injury, and I just had to give a caveat. I wasn't able to do my deep science research into these matchups just yet, but I always take some notes during the games last week, or while the games are going, and I'll take a few keynotes, a few keynotes and throughout the week, as I'm reading articles and all that kind of stuff. But just a heads up, I wasn't able to get into the lab the way I wanted to. So we're just going to go over some of my lighthearted notes about these three key matchups that I'll be paying attention to this week 4 of the NFL season. So first and foremost, we got to talk about the New Orleans Saints and the Falcons, Atlanta Falcons. Both these teams um, have been a little shaky, not so much for the Saints. The Saints had started off very hot this season, putting up 40 plus points in their first two matchups. Don't give me the line. I can't think about who they faced. But last week, they faced off against the Philadelphia Eagles, and their offense grounded a little bit. I know that game was an ugly, low-scoring affair for most of the game. Eventually, the Eagles and the Saints were able to start putting up a couple points, but nonetheless, it was a far cry from what we have been seeing from the New Orleans Saints all season long. But in this particular game, it is a rivalry game. Again, the NFC South matchup. Just some keynotes I made about this. Eric McCoy, the center for the New Orleans Saints, is out with an injury. There is a lot of concern there as the offensive line for the New Orleans Saints has done very well for Derek Carr. So without the center, that's going to definitely change up the dynamic of that offensive line. And so with that change up, you know how for the worse and a better word, how hot Derek Carr has been this NFL season. Again, he's been leading probably one of the best offenses, if not the best offense off the top of my head. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Off the top of my head, um, and a lot of people kind of take for granted those big guys in the trenches. So it could be it could be a night and day performance for the New Orleans Saints, especially considering there's footage out there now of a team essentially stopping the New Orleans Saints. The Eagles did a very good job defensively against that squad. And so I'm interested to see how they're going to look in this particular game, especially because it's a rivalry game. Alvin Kamara, he is dealing with some soreness and some injuries. He will be active so far. I have not seen any other designations, but he is dealing with a bit of a hip and some rib soreness. So, will that affect his overall production? Alvin Kamara has been absolutely legendary this season. I think he had a 4 touchdown performance in this game, and then another three touchdown performance, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 in week 1. So very high productive this season for sure. I know personally because I faced a gentleman in one of my fantasy football leagues. He had Alvin Kamara, and I believe Alvin Kamara alone is who beat me, or at least gave his team that competitive edge. Cesar Ruiz He is dealing with a knee injury as well, so be on the lookout for that. Uh, the offensive output again we talked about against the Eagles last week was of night and day compared to what we had been seeing. Bijan Robinson, can he rebound after a 1.9 yards per carry average last week against those Eagles? We all know Bijan Robinson is one of the marquee running backs in the league, playing for one of the marquee offenses in the league, led by Kirk Cousins. So can he pick it up, pick his production back up this week? Um, he also is the second most. He has the second most rush yards, excuse me, outside of the tackle. So he's a very dynamic running back once he is able to get outside. Only second to Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey boasted over 1,000 yards, and I believe it was like 1,017 or 16, excuse me, but 1,018, excuse me, y'all. Christian McCaffrey, since the beginning of last season, 2023, leading into this season, uh, still, Christian McCaffrey has not played a game this year, but still is the number one quarterback as far as rushing yards outside of the tackles. He has 1,018 yards. Bijan Robinson is right there in second place with 950 yards. So this guy, if he gets outside of the tackles, watch out. He could break it for a big play. Um, the New Orleans Saints, man, last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, they let Dallas Goedert eat, didn't they? 10 receptions. I think Dallas had like 107 yards. I can't recall exactly, but Goddard was absolutely prolific. They are matched up against another prolific tight end, in my opinion, anyway, and Kyle Pitts, another guy that was responsible for a loss of mine because Kyle Pitts had a pretty decent game, I think, week one or week two. There's always, kind of hit or miss with that tight end position, but Kyle Pitts has been one of those guys. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Kyle Pitts has been one of those guys to give, that tight end position. If you're a fantasy football guy like me, he's been some insurance at the tight end position, unlike many others. But will the Saints be able to contain him? Because again, Dallas Goedert had himself a party last week. Um, Today is the first time in this particular matchup, in this particular rivalry, in the NFC South. This is the first time, ladies and gentlemen, since 2018 that that the Atlanta Falcons have been favored. Vegas actually got the Falcons winning this game, but this is the first time they have been favored since 2018. So a mighty long time, and it's in the last 11 matchups, the New Orleans Saints were the favorite. Just goes to show the state of like desertation, if I can say that, the depravity of this Atlanta Falcons team. They have been suffering. They had a nice, decent team. The same, as far as skill players, Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Well, no, they just got Darnell Mooney from the Bears last year. Mooney was with the Bears, but they got him over here now. And between those three, you know, uh, well, at least let me say this: between Bijan, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London, those are some of the more highly skilled players in the league. And they had a lot of expectations, but of course had a very shaky quarterback situation with Desmond Ritter. But these guys are back reloaded, got another weapon in Darnell Mooney, and also the big offseason acquisition of Kirk Cousins has really catapulted this team in a lot of people's eyes. Even me, I'm guilty of it. Even me, I got the Atlanta Falcons as my NFC dark horse behind, and I know I sound crazy right now, but behind the San Francisco 49ers as they are just limping around right now. But I got the Atlanta Falcons in the mix. And we'll see what they're able to do. But today is the first time the Atlanta Falcons have been favored in a matchup versus the New Orleans Saints since 2018. And that's pretty much what I got. Chris Olave versus AJ Terrell. I'm looking at that matchup today. Uh, The Falcons defense was very impressive, albeit it was up against the Super Bowl defending champions. They were able to hold Patrick Mahomes to two touchdowns and I think what was it? I can't see. I can't recall the yard. I thought I put it in my notes, but the Falcons defense. I made a note of that last week. They were very, active against the defending Super Bowl champions. Essentially, only Rashee Rice was able to eat last week, and we know the Chiefs are dealing with a number of injuries, including the absence of Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey be on the field, but he don't be on the field. But anyway, I'm looking at this Falcons defense with Matthew Judon and company, and I'm expecting big things from them. The second game I got, ladies and gentlemen, that you got to see this week, my Green Bay Packers and our divisional rival Minnesota Vikings. Now y'all gonna see in this new series I'm doing of must watch games. It's often gonna be a division rivalry game, as these games are the most interesting to me. Rivalry games. If y'all didn't see that Georgia versus Alabama game last night, you seen it right then and there. Rivalry games can get very out of hand very quickly, or they can be very tense and low scoring. Or you can have a situation like with the Crimson Tide and the Bulldogs last night, where one team seems like they get the upper hand, and then the other team is like, "Nah, we ain't going out like that," and it just becomes a dogfight at some point. So, when we do the must watch series, oftentimes you will see a division rivalry game in that mix, as I will be taking three games from the week of that NFL weekend. We will be looking at that and highlighting it. But the next matchup I got on the list is my Green Bay Packers again matching up against the undefeated 3-0 Sam Darnold led Minnesota Vikings. I will say off the top, I am not a hater. You know, a lot of times people love their teams and hate everybody else. I'm not that kind of person. I think fantasy football kind of, made me less tense in that regard. As sometimes you gotta in fantasy football, sometimes you gotta work with your enemies. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just ironic in that way. Right now, in one of my fantasy football teams, I got the Chicago Bears. So I mean, I got the Chicago Bears defense. So it's just like that kind of weird stuff that fantasy football has you doing, collaborating with unlikely partners. So I don't hate, and I'm very impressed with the Minnesota Vikings have been able to string together this season so far. To be honest, Sam Darnold has had a bit of a redemption season. To be frank, he's really, shown me some things that I didn't even know Sam Darnold had in his bag. You dig? Like, considering that Sam Darnold is 26 years old, and essentially every year his career, he has been with a different team, couple years with the Jets, couple years with the 49ers, and now he's with the Vikings. The man ain't been in the NFL that long. I think a lot of people just kind of forget this dude is still a young quarterback that technically isn't even in his prime yet. But what he has been able to do with the Vikings has been unlikely. As we all know, the Vikings drafted J.J. McCarthy to be the feature quarterback. He went down with an injury. Next man up, and now Sam Darnold is doing his thing. So I'm fully expecting to see. Well, let me say this: I'm looking to see if Sam Darnold can keep up. The his almost, you can even say, MVP caliber season. I know it's gonna be. It sounds crazy to string those words together: Sam Darnold and MVP in the same season, in the same sentence, but that's what's been happening. Reality is oftentimes weirder than fiction. So, but the Vikings have been impressive. That defense has been impressive. The Vikings have only trailed in this NFL season. This is gonna blow y'all mind, for 5 snaps, y'all. Just 5 snaps. The entire NFL season. That's how long the Minnesota Vikings have trailed. The league average is 88 snaps. Okay, so that's 5 snaps compared to the league average of 88. That's just a mind blowing, yeah, again, mind blowing stat. But it does leave a little room for questioning. Uh, Penguin, what's going on, brother? Back in action. He said he got the Ravens 30-27. Okay, yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir. We're going to get to that one. That's the saving the best for last. But this particular series, Penguin, I'm going to start doing 3 games. Pick 3 games out of the mini each Sunday and pick them as my must watch games. So the first one I had was the Falcons and the Saints. I think that's going to be a dogfight. Then my number 2 matchup was my Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is going to be a dogfight. I should throw this out there. I got the Falcons beating the Saints. I'm really not good at the scores, but I got the Falcons beating the Saints. Let's say 24-20, just for the sake of the rivalry. I got the Packers giving the Minnesota Vikings their first L this year. Albeit, they got a lot going on for those guys in purple. We getting Jordan Love. I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna cap. I'm just excited. We're expecting Jordan Love to come back today, and so all things looking as if Jordan Love will be under center for my Green Bay Packers. So, and that if that's the case, my confidence is up 100-fold. Not that I don't have a love for Malik Willis. Not that I don't appreciate what he's been able to do for us as Jordan Love has been injured these past 2 weeks. We have gone 2-0 with Malik Willis as our quarterback. So I'm very confident in his abilities to at least game manage us to a win. But let's all be frank. Let's all keep it a buck. That playbook opens up like the Red Sea when Jordan Love is in the lineup. As Jordan Love is one of the marquee quarterbacks in the league right now. But before we even got to that, I was trying to get the Minnesota Vikings their credit, their flowers, because I think it all comes to a halt this afternoon. As my I keep saying that, my Green Bay Packers we are going to see, we lead the all-time record in this particular matchup, in this particular rivalry. So I feel like, we're just going to keep that trend going. I think it's like 63-57 and like 8 or 9 ties between us and the Vikings. So slight edge, but we still winning. We still winning. Hopefully we can keep Malik because he would make a good backup. Absolutely. You a Green Bay Packers fan, Penguin? Heck yeah. Okay, hold on. I seen your picture, brother. Oh, is that a Green Bay Packers? I can see a little green and gold. Sorry, I can see, but I can't really be seeing them tiny things. Um, but I see your profile pic, brother. Okay, okay, okay. Hopefully okay, Penguin. We in here. My brother, I didn't know you was a Packers man yourself. I do recall the first time you pulled up to the live. The first time I seen you in the audience is when Jordan Love went down with his injury from Minnesota. But I'm a Packers fan. Hey, that's crazy, Penguin. I'm from Chicago and I'm a Packers fan, brother. That is crazy. That's ironic that we would be from 2 rival cities from the from our team, and we both elect to rock with them. I don't know if you can share, Penguin. How did you become a Packers fan? I'll put your comment on the screen. But for me, half my family, my dad's family, they're from Green Bay, Wisconsin, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Majority of them, right? But it's all Packers out there. Ain't really much to cheer for. The Brewers, they be cooking when they're cooking, but most times there ain't really nothing to talk about there. So everybody's all in on the Packers, man. And my cousin, shout out to Curly, being me and Big Cuz, we go ham for them Packers, man. But yeah, I'm from the heart of Chicago, big bro, and I love the Bulls, I love the White Sox, and I love the Blackhawks. That was the only Chicago teams I cheer for. No Cubs, no Bears, because those dudes don't do nothing but give you tears. Albeit. But anyway, yeah, I got us winning this game, Penguin. I got us, putting the L on that team. Yeah, same with me. Most of my family was in Wisconsin, so I also chose to rock with them. I love that, brother. Yes, sir. I love that. Staying loyal, even to that half of the family. And that's the same scenario for me, and albeit my biological father is from Wisconsin. I got a relationship with him, but my father that adopted me is from Chicago. So that's who I call Pops. Shout out to Mark. But in the same breath, he loved him some Bears, man. And I've always it was Brett Favre for me. I don't know exactly how old you are, Penguin, but I'm 36. So when I was coming up, Brett Favre was the man, just like the face of the league at the time. I seen number 4 running around like a little kid with no helmet on, and I was like, "Hey, that's my favorite player." And number 4 has always been my favorite number too. I wore it when I played baseball and basketball. So, and it's all because of Brett Favre. That's just my number. But that's crazy, Penguin. That is such ironic thing, brother. And then you would find my platform, and we pretty much got the same background. Yeah, sad to see Ford got Parker. Yeah, man, I heard that news and it just breaks my heart. Although I'm gonna say this, Penguin, he had some funny business going on out there in Mississippi. I did not agree with. It sounded very egregious what's going on. But I ain't here to judge. We all human. We've all made mistakes. Some more than others. Some bigger than others. Let's be 100. So, and I'm not trying to omit I'm not trying to omit Brett Favre's wrongs, but it don't, his sins don't make me love him any less. That's still our guy. That's our legendary quarterback. Although he gave Aaron Rodgers a hard time, yeah, super hard time. I still got much love for Brett Favre, but yeah, I hated to hear that news. And of course, it's just going to get a little worse from here. As far as his health overall. But prayers to Brett Favre. Again, his sins don't make me any less compassionate. And that was some tough news, man. Definitely. So praying for 4. That again, that's the reason why I cheer for the Packers. Brett Favre, and that's the reason why I wore number 4 too. So that's my dog. But just zooming through this real quick, because kickoff starts in exactly 29 minutes. And I'm gonna get more responsible with my time management, ladies and gentlemen. I did not get to do my stardom siddles for fantasy football. Pete, taking me off. It was just so many other things going on. So much Caitlin Clark news that we had to get up on too. So anyway, I'm gonna get back on my time management this week, starting today actually. Um, Aaron Jones, Penguin. We got to go, we got to go match up with our dog. Now, I love Aaron Jones too. I love all my Packers, former and current. And I got a lot of respect for Aaron Jones. I'm really upset that we let him go, but we all know that the Packers were able to get rid of a fan favorite, and then they quickly made it up to us by acquiring Josh Jacobs, 26 years old, still young. I believe Josh Jacobs is either 26 or 28. Excuse me on that one. I had to double check, but younger than Aaron Jones, a little bit more proven as far as being elite. But we got to go meet up with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has been balling this year. I think the only dud he put up was week 1 or week 2. But the 2 out of the 3 games in this year, Aaron Jones has been balling for the Minnesota Vikings. Penguin saying he's going to be looking for revenge, but hopefully our defense is ready to show up. Amen to that. Amen. I need Quay Walker. I need Kenny Clark. I need everybody to be on alert. Xavier McKinney is in the building. I know he's going to have his hands full with Justin Jefferson. Jair Alexander, just a little injury update on him as well. He was questionable. Now, the thing about it is Jordan Love is expecting to play, but the health designation for Ja is still up in the air, so I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a game time decision. But if he is on the field, then yeah, buddy, I'm ready for all the smoke. Aaron Jones included. But I know that our secondary is going to be busy with Justin Jefferson. And our rush defense has not been horrible. It's been the middle of the pack. Actually, I'm capping. It's been 25th. We are ranked 25th in the rush defense right now. I'm capping. But all things considered, we've made very key stops. And the only reason why we're 25th mainly is because we had to go up against Saquon Barkley, who is on a bit of a mission, out there in Philly. All due respect to him, but if we didn't have to start off our season against Saquon, then we would look a little bit better. I think we would have been around like 10th. We would have fell in the 10th to the 15th range. It's just that the fact of the matter, we went up against one of the best quarterback or running backs in the league right now. Certified capper. You know I'm a cap for my Packers, brother. I got a cap for the pack. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and I try not to be. I try not to show my bias too much, Franklin. But hey, I love my boys. You know what I'm saying? I love my guys. So I bleed green and gold for sure. But we do got to go up against Aaron Jones. Going to have a bit of a perhaps a revenge game alert on our hands. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Aaron Jones could have a decent game. Not really, but I wouldn't be mad at that. But if we can still escape with the victory, then I'm cool. I'm even cooler with that. But I'm not a hater. Like I said, I don't mind. Uh, uh, other teams thriving, not at the expense of my team, though. You know what I mean? I wonder what we are for the past different stuff. You know what? I was just thinking that too. I don't know if you've seen the top of the video, Penguin. I just gotta apologize to everybody in the audience. Welcome everybody. Please like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you have not. Thanks for pulling up. I typically have a schedule throughout the week, Penguin, where I do certain things on Sunday. Immediately after the game, we take notes. I take notes during the game, and then Monday I try to look at the power rankings and see who had a good week and who didn't. And then from that point, I start looking at team rankings and all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of giving away my blueprint, but I don't care. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of hard work to do what I do. Most of these suckers ain't gonna do it. But anyway, just throughout the week, I have a progression. As I release the content, I like to build on a schedule. But again, we had a lot of hoopla going on with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever and all of the fans. Again, just a segue. Yeah, I just want to say shout out to Caitlin Clark because I'm really proud of the young lady, the season she had, and also her exit interview for the season. She addressed all of the drama that's going on surrounding that stuff. So I don't want to make this a basketball stream or anything like that, but that all of that hoopla kind of put me behind on my football schedule. And then, of course, before I looked up, it was Friday night, and then we had that great game between Miami and Virginia Tech. I looked up, 12 hours later, we was in the heat of college football yesterday. So, like I said, it was just time got away from me in a week, and I'm gonna do better this week for sure. We already have as much interceptions as week 3 than we did the whole last season. Yeah, that's one thing we have been doing. Xavier McKinney, I believe he has an interception every game that he's played for the Green Bay Packers. So far, he was one of our one of the big acquisitions that we got in the offseason, albeit, he's been yielding very high production for us. Again, an interception in every game so far, I believe, since he's put on the Packers jersey. So, and credit to Jeff Hafley, our new defensive coordinator. We was running the 3-4 defense, and for the entire time, I forget who our old defensive coordinator was. John Barry, I think his name was. We was running a 3-4, and that was a disadvantage that was a disadvantage because our strength is our secondary. We was running a 3-4 defense, and our secondary was still a top 10 defense. So credit to Jeff Hafley. He's switched up the defensive scheme to the 4-3, which gives us an extra nickel out there, an extra cornerback on most of the plays as far as schematic goes. It allows Quay Walker to be a little bit more of a freelancer and play some play some defense in the pass game as well. Because they were trying to make Quay Walker a damn pass rusher with John Barry. Now, that's not his strength. Quay is a Micah Parsons kind of player. He's a hybrid. He's athletic as heck. He's fast. He's strong. So yeah, you can send him on the blitzes sometimes, but if you got him blitzing the entire game, he's not going to look like Quay Walker. So credit to Jeff Hafley, man. He's got us right where we should be. Again, our rush defense could be a little better, but again, we've gone up against some of the more marquee running backs in the league, not just Saquon Barkley, but we had to run up against Jonathan Taylor last week, who was another, I would argue, top 5, top 10 running back in the league. So I could talk about Packers forever, brother. Me and Penguin, man, we making this a Packer stream. We gotta get to the meat and potatoes real quick. The main course of this stream, that is the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this game, this particular matchups. I did say I got my Packers winning. Let's say 31-24. It's gonna be a dogfight, high scoring affair. But I got my Packers leaving the building with the win, especially if Jordan Love is in the lineup. If we have to run with Malik Willis, I can see this being another ugly game because that's what Malik Willis his strength. To be honest, is time of possession and just game managing. Man, Malik Willis is a very good game manager. And he has been able to extend drives with his legs. He's been very efficient. And kudos to Matt LaFleur, man. I love Coach LaFleur. I thought Coach was at a bit of a handicap, playing with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is a legend. Aaron Rodgers owned Green Bay when he was there, so I'm glad that Coach Matt LaFleur has been able to showcase his abilities to actually coach a team because again, as much as I love Aaron, I know Aaron's a bit of an egotistical diva when he wants to be, and I'm positively sure behind the scenes he was giving Matt LaFleur the toughest of toughest times as far as running the offense. So now that he's gone on to New York. Matt LaFleur has been doing his thing, and like I say, even last season, Coach was showing off because we started off very slow, and then he made the proper adjustments and had Jordan Love looking like a damn MVP to end that season. I think Jordan Love had thrown 18 touchdowns, one interception in like the last 8 to 9 games. So that's all attributed to the schematics and the game planning. Coach LaFleur. So happy for him. But if we got to run with Malik Willis, I'm going to say it's going to be an uglier game, probably a lower scoring game for sure. I got the Packers sneaking out a Lambeau with the win. Let's say maybe 17 to. I don't want to be harsh to the Vikings because they got a good offense. They're number 4 as far as their offensive goes, the scoring offense for the Vikings. So I don't want to take nothing away from them. They can put points up on the board. But let's give them. Let's make it a 20-17. Let's make it 2017. If Jordan Love can play, if Jordan Love is active today, I'll go with 31-24. Just off the rip. But moving on to this last, again, the main course. Penguin said earlier he got the Ravens 30-27. I'm not mad at that at all, brother. I'm not mad at that at all. As the Buffalo Bills, they have 2 key injuries on that defense. And we all seen last week how the Ravens can absolutely tear up your defense as far as that rushing goes, as they put 274 yards on the Cowboys stovetop. Was absolutely cooking. You remind me of Tom Grassi. Do you get that a lot? Oh yeah, I love Tom, man. I love Tom. I haven't listened to him in a little while. But I was before I even started my platform, Penguin. I used to listen to Tom like religiously, bro, like every day. I used to sit through all those super long streams because when Tom talking Packers, he get to talking Packers. So I hate to admit, like since I've started my platform, I've probably only been able to watch him probably about 10 times in the almost 3 years I've been doing this. But then it's just because I get so caught up in making my content and in my hoopla. But yeah, shout out to Tom Grassi, man, one of the legends in this Packers sports content creating thing. I've definitely learned things from him, as far as how I present my content. I think Tom Grassi is going to be a legend for sure. And yeah, man. Hopefully, if I do get the opportunity to ever work with him, Penguin, you're gonna have to come up on the panel too, man. I'm gonna invite you up, and we're gonna have us a all out legendary Packers stream, bro. We're gonna just talk Packers till the sun go down. Cause Tom Grassi, sometimes his streams, man, I'll be going to sleep, and that man still be up doing this stream. And like, I remember he did a 24-hour stream, bro. And 3 different times I tapped in. Like I had went to sleep. No, I watched it initially when he started. He was doing a fundraiser of some sorts, but whilst doing that, he was doing Packer talk. But at the same time, I started off the stream with him. I started out strong, did a couple hours with him. Yeah, he does it for the charity events. Yeah, so happy for the guy from doing charity events to winning fan of the year. Hey, I love that, man. I wasn't aware he won fan of the year, so we got to give him a race in that department because I think I think I'm the biggest Packers fan out there. Just biasness, but yeah, I love Tom Grassi for sure, and I really got a heart for people like he does. So those long streams he be doing, for charitable events, I gotta give him his credit, man, because he started the stream one time. I started it off with him. I stuck in there with him for about 2.5 hours. Had to go to sleep. Woke up. He was still at work, still doing the charity stream. And I went to work, but 6, 7 hours, came home. He was still doing that stream. And then about the time I went to bed that night, he had concluded the stream. So dedication like I've never seen before. I thought I had a hard working work ethic, but nah, he's the GOAT, man. I got to give him his credit. Um, and shout out to you, Penguin, man. But you got to pull up more, man. I'm going to start doing exclusive Packers content because that's our team. And I think, it's only right that they get their own, their own set of content on my platform. I do a lot of mixed variety of stuff, but I'm going to start doing exclusive stuff for my Packers because of all my teams, none do I love more than the Green Bay Packers. I love my Chicago Bulls. I love my Chicago White Sox. I love the UConn Huskies as far as college basketball, all that stuff, but no team do I love more than my Green Bay Packers. But the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens are my number one game to watch this week. As the Bills, again, they have been absolutely on a tear. Josh Allen, if the MVP race stopped today, give it to Josh Allen, man. That dude, he's number 1, 2, and 3 in my MVP race right now. As Josh Allen has not only been able to tear teams up through the air, he's one of the better quarterbacks. Probably you could put him right there, second, third, fourth. Mix and match in the hat with him, Lamar, Joe Burrow, and probably a few others. It's Patrick Mahomes and then everybody else, in my opinion. But right there in that second tier, you got these two guys, Josh Allen and Lamar. And for sure, like I said, the MVP race ended today. The Josh Allen would be my number 1, 2, and 3 as far as the candidates. Um, but in this heavyweight matchup, the Bills will be at a bit of a handicap as one of their better. I forget Terrell Bernard. Forget what position he plays, but I know he's been absolutely on the tear. The nickel corner. I think he's a linebacker, a pass rusher or a linebacker, but he's out with a pectoral injury, as well as their nickel corner, Teron Johnson. He has suffered a forearm injury. So 2 key losses for the Buffalo Bills. And it just makes me wonder, can that defense hold up against the prolific rushing attack, the dynamic duo of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? Again, they put 274 yards on the Dallas Cowboys stovetop last week. Absolutely cooked them. And I'm really looking at it like this. It ain't just Lamar and it ain't just King Henry. That cat Justin Hill, Justice Hill, he is a good running back as well. And he was in the mix last week. It used to be J.K. Dobbins, another cat, and then Justice Hill. And he was a part of that number 1 rushing attack that the Baltimore Ravens boasted last year. Justice Hill is still there. I think they even extended him, gave him an extension, 2-3 year extension. So he's set in this offense. He has plays in this offense. And I think he's the one guy that a lot of people are not talking about. Everybody's enamored with King Henry and Lamar Jackson, rightfully so. But I think that this defense is going to have some problems because once King Henry is sitting down and Lamar Jackson ain't taking off, you still got a third option in that Russian defense. In that Russian offense that can hit you for a couple 50, 75 to 100 yards. But just wondering if that Russian, if the defense for the Buffalo Bills can hold up. I'm just looking at my notes, y'all. Jackson. Yes, this was a stat that I found earlier this week that had just had me like wondering because Lamar Jackson against the NFC teams, his record is almost unbelievable. I think the dude is like, and I'm capping here a little bit, Penguin, forgive me, but I think he's like 30 and 2 versus NFC teams. Like just unbelievable how many times how he beats down on the NFC teams. But the Buffalo Bills, and we all know the Chiefs kind of give him a hard time, but the Buffalo Bills, no other team gives Lamar Jackson a harder time than these teams. He only averages 144 total yards. Well, let me give him his half. 144 and a half total yards against the Buffalo Bills. Not just passing, not just rushing, total yards, which is crazy because Lamar Jackson is usually good for what 100 on the ground, 100 in the air, give or take. That was a mind-boggling stat to me. The Buffalo Bills have this guy figured out. He's only faced up against them twice, to their credit, so maybe he just caught the Buffalo Bills while they were hot and healthy, or whatever the case. Um, the Ravens, very bad news for them. They have the league's worst pass defense in the NFL, and that's not something you want to hear when you got to go up against Josh Allen. As you know, again, Josh Allen has been tearing teams up on his, through the air and on the ground, and so in one game, and it's been like a flip flop. The first game he did, I forget who they faced. I think who did they face? Week one, I can't recall, but he did it with his arms and his legs. The next week, I think the Dolphins it was. I can't exactly remember the scheduling, but the next week he just did it with his legs and then his arm. And then the very next week he just did it with his leg. It's like Josh Allen is everything he is marketed to be. And for me personally, I don't understand why Josh Allen has not won a Super Bowl or an MVP yet. Like he's just that prolific. I'm not a Josh Allen apologist, but I can acknowledge talent when I see it. He is boasting the league's best quarterback rating. Josh Allen is with 92.6. And that's the best since 2006 Drew Brees. Oh, no, excuse me, 2006. No, yeah, 2006 Drew Brees. I thought it was Peyton Manning, but Drew Brees was on an absolute tear that year, and Josh Allen is looking like that breezy. 870 yards. What is this? I'm sorry, y'all. I made some notes, and so I'm looking at my chicken scratch, trying to figure out. I'll just be writing all over the place on the paper. Look like Eminem 8 Mile when I be writing my notes. Since the 2006, I don't even know. I wrote down 870 yards for some reason, for whatever reason. Oh no, that's how many yards the Baltimore Ravens defense has given up so far. 875 pass yards is absolutely the league's worst, and they given up the most yards in the fourth quarter at 363. So in the fourth quarter alone, the Baltimore Ravens get shredded. That the secondary does. This is Zach Orr's first year as the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. We all know that they lost a lot of key pieces last season. None more, really, I think, in my opinion, than the defensive coordinator himself, Mike McDonald, as he has gone over to the Seahawks, and he got the Seahawks looking very impressive. The Hawks are undefeated themselves. And so I think, they lost Pat Queen. They lost another guy as well. I can recall a few guys, actually. Oh, the Jadeveon Clowney. They lost Clowney as well, who had a breakout season last year. But I think the guy that they missed the most is the guy in the defensive coordinator box, because Zach Orr has been, it's kind of been kind of scary, how night and day this Ravens defense has been. The Ravens have allowed 25 or more points in all 3 games this season. Not good. Josh Allen has 4 games with multiple rush and passing touchdowns. And a fun fact, Jordan Love is playing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Now it's just about how he looked when he get out there, Penguin. I'm happy to hear that news. But I'm just, like I say, just a little segue. And I just hope that it is no lingering pain, nothing like that, that's messing with him. And I'm definitely hoping he don't re-injure anything. Knock on wood. Pray to who you pray to. Hope that, Jordan Love is able to stay upright. So, man, that is good news. And dang nabbit, I didn't even notice the time. We got about 7 minutes to kick off, ladies and gentlemen. So let me speed the rest of this notes really quick. Josh Allen has 4 games with multiple rush and multiple pass touchdowns. 4 games is the second best in the NFL history. And would you believe number one is also in this game as well? Lamar Jackson has 5 games with multiple rush and multiple pass touchdowns and leads NFL history in that department. Josh Allen is right there on his heels with 4. And last but not least, a very fun fact I had to find out. I love defenses, and so I just want to give Christian Benford, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, his credit, as he has only allowed 30 passing yards. Man, that's just unbelievable, really. Um, he allowed 0.4 yards per snap when he's on the field. So little to no production when you got Christian Benford on you. And that's going. I'm very interested to see how that plays out with Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Devtavian Wicks. Our guys, Romeo Dobbs, Tyler Kraft, Luke Musgrave. I'm very interested to see how that all plays out against our cast of pass catchers, and that's on at least 50 snaps. Oh no! I'm talking. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I got when Penguin told me about Jordan Love starting, man, I got right back into Packers mode. It's nothing for me. It's nothing to get back into Packers mode. But Christian Benford has allowed 0.4 yards per snap, and he's played at least 50 snaps. So that's the league's best. And so that's going to be, and he also has an interception on the season. So this man is putting up production. And so I'm interested to see how that's going to work out for the Ravens' number one option, undisputed Zay Flowers. Can Zay eat like he eats in this offense? We shall see. He will be up against one of the marquee cornerbacks in the league. So, Penguin, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for pulling up, man. We're gonna do some NFL streams. We're gonna be live all day, brother. We're gonna be live. I wish I had the time and the ability to sit and call the games like I want to. Again, that's just full time daddy, full time entrepreneur. That's very difficult to do with the little ones running around right now. But yeah, man, we're gonna pop back out. We're gonna do some more football streams probably after the early games are concluded. Gonna do another stream when the afternoon games concluded, and then we're gonna do a Sunday night stream after the Sunday night game, so we can recap this entire day of football. Probably talk a little basketball, a little college football as well. So definitely shout out to you, Penguin. Thank you, brother, for pulling up. Go Pack, go! Go Pack, go! Jordan Love is active today. That is great news. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, and stay very busy on the platform. Last but not least, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section as my brother Penguin has done. And let me know how y'all feel about this football nonsense because, hey, it's the most wonderful time of the year. We only get 17, 18 total about 21 weeks of this stuff. So I'm here for all of it. It is Tony the Savant. Peace.